Hi everyone, we are from Group 2 for Lex 2063 Tech Talk. This will be our fifth video with fourth gadget, which is camera. Let me introduce myself and my group members. Well, I'm Devasri.
Hi, my name is Imelda Alexen and my metric number.
Hi, my name is Nurul Nadia binti Ramadi and my metric number is B108559.
Hi, my name is Rutran Muttalagan and my metric number is B10856.
Okay, firstly, I'm going to talk about features of digital camera. Everybody loves getting more bang for their buck, which may explain why most digital camera offers set of functions. However, the more features that are packed into a camera, the more difficult it is to use the camera. They are they are maybe so many features you have no idea what most of them do, when to use them, or how they affect your pictures. First features, memory. Digital cameras store pictures as data files rather than no film. The size of your memory determines the number of pictures you can take before downloading the image to a computer. Secondly, flash type. There are two types of flash type. For example, great eye reduction and external flash. Thirdly, optical zoom. There are two types of zoom lenses, digital and optical. Digital zoom simply enlarges the pictures without adding any clarity of detail. Fourthly, compression. The process shrinks the file size of a photo. Next, power source. Digital cameras are voracious eaters of batteries. They use either a rechargeable battery pack or traditional batteries, usually 2 to 4 AA. 6. Lens. Lens length will determine how much of a scene will fit into a picture. Next, a focus and exposure. Most cameras have autofocus, but higher end cameras will include a manual focus capability. 8. LCD screen. This screen will let you see what the photo will look like critically, let you see what you have already taken and erase what you don't need. Lastly, manual features available on high-end cameras. These give more serious photographers more creative control. So far, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I will discuss about the types of camera. Photographing activities now no longer belongs to professionals. Even ordinary people can become photographers. Especially now, there are a variety of professional cameras ranging from affordable prices to expensive, so you are free to explore your abilities with any type of camera. Let's get to know the types of cameras and differences, the way you can analyze each camera and choose which camera is right for your needs. Certain types of camera are not just one, but there are many types of them. The first one is DSLR cameras. DSLR camera is the short form of digital single lens reflex camera. It is the most popular types of cameras in the market. All professional photographers will have one DSLR camera in their kit. It is actually a combination of a digital imaging sensor with a single lens reflex camera. Second is mirrorless cameras. If you remove the optical viewfinder from a DSLR camera, then you get the mirrorless, so the optical viewfinder would be missing from the mirrorless camera. This removes some amount of weight from the camera body. That is point and shoot cameras. Point and shoot cameras are compact cameras useful for people who want to capture vacation pictures or family pictures. There are for people who are not interested in photography and just wanted to capture an image. What is smartphone cameras? Nowadays, we are getting good in cameras in smartphone itself. Almost all smartphones come with dual cameras, one in the front for selfies and one at the back. Fifth is bridge cameras. As the name suggests, lies in between point and shoot cameras and DSLR cameras. These types of cameras come with a fixed lens, and most of the bridge cameras cover the telephoto focal range. Six is medium format cameras. In early days, medium format cameras used 120 nm films. In this digital age, the film that replaced by the digital camera sensor with a size similar to the 120. Few manufacturers Few manufacturers still produce medium format film cameras. It comes with a bigger camera sensor and a higher price. 7 is film cameras. Last but not least, we have the film cameras. It all started with film cameras. During the early days of photography, we used film as the medium to record image. Later, films get replaced by the camera sensor and memory card. X is instant camera or Polaroid cameras. As the name suggests, instant cameras are capable of printing photos just after capturing it. It was Polaroid Corporation who introduced this type of cameras in the market. Ninth is digital sign cameras. Digital sign cameras are high-end types of cameras used for filming movies or documentaries. They come with interchangeable lens options. Film professionals make use of sign cameras. 10 is action cameras or GoPro cameras. Action cameras or GoPro cameras are known for their miniature size, capable of taking into many places where it is tough to more normal cameras. Next is 360-degree cameras. 360-degree types of cameras are getting popular these days. They are capable of taking 360-degree photos. Even some smartphones are capable of doing this job in their extended panorama picture. The last one is large cameras. Large cameras are shockproof and waterproof cameras. Specification-wise, it is more or less similar to point and shoot digital cameras. Lastly, understanding how the different types of cameras differ could give you a good indication of which one might be right for you. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thirdly, I'm going to talk about the main part of the camera, which is the history of the camera. The camera's history can be traced back to Middle Ages with the first pinhole camera. A physicist by the name of Alhazen discovered the idea of camera obscura, which led him to the creation of the first pinhole camera. Camera obscura, in short, is producing an image with color and perspective preserved. In 1816, inventor Nicephore Niepce began to experiment with photography, although at the time he called it heliography. Niepce used light to create an almost photographic image of nature from his office window. He experimented with different materials to print the image on, including bitumen and water. The process began by Niepce placing an engraving onto the material of his choice. He would then expose it to the light, which would react to different chemicals that were coated on the plate. This would then create an image. The process took around 8 hours and would fade away depending on the material used. However, this image could be considered the first photographic image. In 1893, Louis Daguerre, the former partner of Niepce, created a practical photographic process with a daguerreotype. This process consisted of Daguerre taking a silver-plated sheet that was made of copper and coated with silver iodine. When exposed to the light, this material would produce an image. This development is the first of many to point us towards the invention of the camera. An amazing discovery by Richard Leach Maddox created the first gelatin dry plate. The invention created the first instantaneous picture that were rendered tripod unnecessarily. The invention began the birth of handheld camera because large bulky cameras were no longer needed to produce an image. Then in 1885, George Eastman began to produce the paper film. Later, Eastman created the Kodak camera, which was similar the one picture above. The box consisted of a fixed focus lens and one single shutter speed. The camera was equipped with enough film for 100 pictures and required Kodak to process the photographs and reload the film at the end of each roll. This camera were priced surprisingly low, and this invention was beginning mass-marketed photography. In 1930, Oscar Barnett began to research the possibility of inventing a smaller camera that anyone could use. The Leica camera began to commercialize after World War One, and they eventually developed second model called the Leica One. Many of the camera manufacturers at the time followed this experiment and began to produce compact cameras sold to the public. Over the years, cameras began to shrink in size, become more sophisticated. In 1948, Polaroid came out with an unconventional camera for the time, which is commonly known as the first instant picture camera. By the 1960s, Polaroid camera was considered the most popular cameras. The first digital camera was developed in 1988 but never sold to the public. It wasn't in 1991 and that Kodak released Kodak DCS, which was their first in a long line of digital cameras. The production and the development of camera has continued increase over the years. Interestingly enough, despite the move from digital camera smartphone, there's been many rise in popularity of Polaroid film camera. So far, that's all from me. Thank you.
Lastly, I would like to talk about uses of camera. Preservation. The camera helped to create and preserve memories of historical and sentimental value, famous photograph of notable moments and events from history were made possible by the camera. A source of helping us remember our past, the camera is a valuable source to preserve history. Secondly, create insurance records. You can use digital camera to keep visual monitoring of your inventory and business for insurance purpose. Although people use a camera to create a visual reference of the collection and physical assets, the digital camera can enable you to create an overview of the objects. Thirdly, make business cards. Photo business cards are some of the hottest tools designed for business people. With a camera, you can take your photos and then place them on your business card. Nextly, digital photographic art. Using our camera plus a photo editing software like Adobe's Photoshop, you can easily become creative and produce artistic creations such as a blends, wallpaper, screensaver, and photo montages. Record a meeting or event. You can use camera device to record an important meeting or historic events. Also, you can also record historical building or take a shoot of great booths at the trade show. You can easily do this if you have a digital camera. Lastly, objects for presentation. The camera is ideal for recording textures, for presentation and images. With your digital camera, you can shoot the objects you want like a business products and then add them to a PowerPoint presentation on your laptop. That's all from me. Thank you. That's all from us today. Our group discussion video will be continue next week about our conclusion. Until that, stay tuned. Thank you.